What's up, collector fam? It's your boy Tony Notori Rat, back with another rigorous resin review for new PVC pre-used or previewed, and this one's all new to me. This is the Marvel Rivals Spider-Man variant. This is a Chase edition. The colors are from Ben Reilly's Chasm Spider-Man. I actually did a review on this version of it, which is the Chasm that I got from Diamond Select Toys. Pretty cool color spectrum. Now this one matches that color spectrum, so they'll be on the shelf together, and everyone wants me to leave it in the box, but I'm not going to. I'm going to open it up. Let's open it up and display them together right now. Let's go. Alright guys, we've got the box in hand. I've got my handy dandy scalpel tool, and I'm going to crack open this box. You can see it's never been opened before. Let's take a look at the back. The box real quick. That is the traditional Spider-Man outfit. Again, we're opening up the Marvel Rivals version, which I am told, because I don't play the game, is actually a skin that can be released while playing the game in Marvel Rivals, and McFarlane Toys is taking advantage of that and come up with a variant version. They have this very same one in the actual original Spider-Man outfit. So with that being said, all these Marvel Rivals, like the other 1/6 McFarlane Toys, actually comes with a comic book in the back, so you can check that out. And it also comes with a scene setter in the back. Now, some of these I'm a fan of, others I am not a fan of. Inside the box itself, nothing that cool, nothing really to write home about in here, you know, just standard box stuff. So we like to save the earth, and you know what that means. We must recycle. Recycle, everyone. Make sure you do that. Okay, so let me crack this and move this off to the side. Here is the comic book that it comes with, guys. You can see that right here. I haven't opened it up clearly, and this background is, this is what the background looks like. You guys interested in seeing what that is right there? It is a cityscape. Pretty cool looking, but what I find is that, one, these things are not that well put together very often. They're a little crooked. And two, they take up a lot more room than just putting the actual statues in place. So for right now, we're going to set this off to the side, and we're going to continue cracking this thing open. Now, all the McFarlane Toys come with this gobbledygook string stuff in the back. So while I do my fastest job to try and get rid of this, so we can open it up and take a look at them together. Those of you who are interested in why they would come up with this color schema, you can look down over here. You can see I've got the Chasm, which is right here, which is the Ben Reilly version of Spider-Man, and that's where the color schema comes from here. Now there's an entire backstory that runs with that. I'm not sure how they're playing with that inside of the Marvel Rivals game, except to know that it is going to be a skin that can be unleashed with a certain amount of points, I guess. I'm not entirely sure how it works. Again, I'm not playing the game. I have stuck to my Marvel Champions the entire time. I've been playing it for so many years, I guess I'm addicted to it at this point. Alright, I have unleashed what I think is all these little stringer bobbers in the back. They're never easy. It's like they never want you to open them, ever. There's one back here that's just plaguing me. Gonna have to speed through some of this, I assume. Jeez, oh P's, I tell ya. This is the least fun part about opening up toys. There you go. Alright. Alrighty. Alright, this is nothing but a giant piece of plastic in here, guys. You know, alongside of the box, we're just gonna have to recycle that. Okay, first looks, let's take a look at them. This is the McFarlane Toys Marvel Rivals Spider-Man Chasm Suit Ben Reilly edition. It looks like a Peter Parker version and not like the Chasm, but you can see how closely these guys are mirrored in colors, so they're gonna look really cool on the shelf together. Hope you guys agree with me. In the meantime, I'm gonna set this down right now, and we're gonna give this a full body spin. This is a Spider-Man Marvel Rivals Chasm Edition. Let's get a full body spin.
play with toys, but I'm a grown-ass man. The kid in me stays alive. Come on, collect the fam. Do what a collector can. Expand the collection just to match that brand, man. A new batch of toys just hit the stand. Forget about the rent, go on and spend that grand. Buy them up, crack them open just to show them on the gram. Hasbro.
What's up, collector fam? It's your boy Tony the Toy Rat, and I am back. You have had a full body spin on our Marvel Rivals Chasm suited Ben Reilly Spider-Man. I dare you to try and say that fast 3 times. I'm not going to. And now we're going to have a pretty quick review of what you're actually seeing in front of you. Now, on one screen here, on our smaller screen, I have left the Chasm version of this, which was a Diamond Select Toys, and the one in front of you here is actually a McFarlane Toys. Something to note right off back, unlike many of the earlier versions of the PVC types, which is what this is, this particular version and almost all of the McFarlane Toys does have this dreaded pole stuck in here, and I so wish they would be a little more creative about hiding this in something that would be more centric to the diorama portion of this, rather than it just be a, hey, there's a pole sticking in the back of the character here. But it is what it is. So keep that in the back of your minds. There is always going to be one of these poles that is sticking in the character, no matter which one of these McFarlane Toys that you purchase. I am not a fan of it. All right, so we are going to start where we always start. And where is that? Well, the portrait. The portrait, the portrait. If it doesn't look like the character is supposed to look like, then they have utterly failed. Now, clearly, anybody looking at this guy right here is going to say, yeah, that's Spider-Man. Yes, that is definitely him, even though he's got different colors. Now, you may not know why those colors exist, but you know this is Spider-Man. You can always tell that if you're guessing, as he's got the spider on the front and he's got the spider on the back as well. So 3 out of 3 cheeses for denoting that this is Spider-Man. No problem. Where do we go next? Okay, we're going to go into the costuming, and the costuming is definitely something we should have a conversation about, because it is not your traditional Spider-Man, not in any way, shape, or form, not the red, white, or the red and the blue, rather, that you would typically see on your Spider-Man characters, red, blue, and black. But this is the Chasm version, which is just like this guy here, the Ben Reilly Chasm colors, which is more this purple, black, and green outline. I have done a full review on this. If you're interested, you should please check out the channel. There's a huge difference between this one here and this one here. The first thing to note is weight. This is substantially heavier. This character pose, framing, and build out is better in every way than these McFarlane Toys. These things are light in the ass, man. They need this pole in order for them to stick up. You can see here that in the Diamond Select Toys version of it, rest in peace, Diamond Select Toys, you know, they don't exist anymore, but they did a good job of embedding the character into the diorama such that you wouldn't need some sort of pole to hold it open and stick it up. As a result, these things are much heavier, much easier to set in place and weight down. We don't worry about any of these little things that stick out and make it seem like it's a toy rather than a really cool character piece statue. All right, that being said, the color scheme is gorgeous. I absolutely love the colors that they use in here. Again, they're trying to mimic the Ben Reilly version of it. You can see there's some real color variance differences here, where the McFarlane Toys version of this has a much more neon version of the green. I think there's more neon in the setup than it is on the Chasm color schema. I also think that the purple is more purple, or this is more of a purple, I would say, almost like a blue purple on the Chasm version of it. This is really well pronounced. So color schema wise, I really appreciate that on this Spider-Man. Also on the Chasm that's shown here from our friends at Diamond Select Toys, you don't see any webbing. So they have this green electroplasm, which for use for shocking purposes. I believe on the Chasm version, which is a really cool effect, but it wants you to ask the question, who is this? Because you don't see webbing. Whereas in this McFarlane Toys version of Marvel rival Spider-Man, you can see there is a web being shot directly from the wrist. So, whether or not that is a web shooter, I don't see a web shooter here, or whether this is biological webs, that remains to be seen. One thing we should also note that we took this out when we started because plastic doesn't look good with all the lighting in here. It shines off horribly. But it does have a picture of Ultron on the front of it. A bunch of other characters that you might want to take a look at. I dislike the method of the way they close this up. When you open it up, it actually breaks the plastic. So, but you always get one of these really cool cards on the inside here. I have said it before, I will say it again, especially because of the way they do the base and McFarlane toys here. I think they should be a slot where you can slide that card in. How cool would that be? So now I'm displaying the card alongside the character. And in this one, even though this is a Chase version, and this is the Chasm colored Spider-Man, they gave us the card for the original Spider-Man. I'm going to say fail. Alright, that being said, I'm going to put this off to the side real quick. Going back to the costuming here, because we are looking at this as a Chase figure, because we're looking at it as the Chasm colors, we're going to get 3 chooses for matching the variant colors the way I think it should look if that's the costuming. You can see throughout this video that I have played a lot of the Marvel Rivals gaming. I didn't play the game myself. I took the video from others who haven't played it, but I think they did a really great job of matching from the actual video game to the depiction of the statue, which is in front of me right now. So again, 3 cheeses in the portrait, and 3 cheeses are going to be for costuming's sake, okay? So we're going to get that out all right. Next, what do we look at? Well, we gotta look at dynamic pose. Is this a dynamic pose? What do you think?
Neighborhood is now like multiple realities.
Yeah.
Cool,
He's
right?
jumping, leaping out of the way, and I'm gonna say this just so we're all clear. This, to me, is utterly a McFarlane style pose imagery. Wow, it's something that I would see him put together on the page if he was drawing the comic book. So I think they held true to that. Definitely on the dynamic, he's got a leg kicking up, one hand sticking out with the flip. I think we are referring to this as the flip. So he's got the flip hand out, one up here, the one that's jumping and shooting is also in flip motion. So you can see both of those going out at one time. And he's got a leg kicking out, another kicking somebody in the head while he's leaping into action through here. Now, if you watch the gameplay, you see a lot of that going on. For me, this is a hella dynamic pose. Absolutely love the dynamic aspects of the character through here. You might tell me I'm crazy, but take another look, man. I mean, this is definitely a jumping, leaping, flying, fighting pose through here. I don't know what other thing you can say about it. Okay, so we've got 3 on the portrait, 3 on the costume, and 3 on the dynamic pose right now. We're going to move all the way down really quickly into this diorama portion. Now let's have a good look at this thing. Okay? We've got some of these symbiote alien heads that are just sort of placed at the corner part of the edge of the diorama. The diorama portion itself is hollow. You can see where all the pinpoints for the characters are inside these spaces in here. You can see where all the weight is laid back here on the bottom side. You're never going to see any of that. That's just interesting commentary. We've got a couple of pumpkins back here. We have to make some assumptions on what these pumpkins are for. We would definitely say that's probably Hobgoblin. Green Goblin would probably use the mechanical version, so I say there's a Hobgoblin pumpkin. And then I don't play this particular game, so this looks like some mushrooms on a rock. You tell me, what the hell does this look like to you? I don't know. So for me, outside of that, if you look at the top, they've painted the top of this flat part of the diorama as to be some rocky surface in here. It definitely does what it's supposed to do in terms of look like a rocky surface. But it's a flat piece. Let me give you an example of what I mean. Look at the level of detail that you get from what used to be the Diamond Sailor toys. There are protrusions sticking out, even if you don't know exactly where this particular diorama is set. You have so much to look at through here. There's elements of design, right? This looks like it was pulled from a scene, and this looks like they made a stand. So the diorama is gonna fly. This is a shit diorama. You guys gotta know. So why am I saying that? Listen, guys. These were at his peak. These Diamond Select toys when they came out. These things were $59, $60. These McFarlane toys, when they come out, are $59, $60. Now, we're able to get these a little bit cheaper, especially if you have some friends like I do, thanks Dan, who went out to Ross. And you can find these at several of the discount stores, and sometimes you get them at a better price. But that's beside the point. That's not the asking price. So if you were to go to your standard GameStop and find this particular character there, you would see it at $59.99. So if I'm looking at these two characters that being exactly the same cost, there is a lot that is being missed in terms of the potential to be put into these statues the fans. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you're telling me I'm being too cheap. Maybe you're saying, you know, the cost of things have gone up. Sure, I think all those things are true. But in the end, my money's my money. And if I want to spend it, this just doesn't match what we were getting from Diamond Select. That's just me, guys. You guys tell me what you think. Now, overall, I really like what you've gotten here. I really wish this pole wasn't in his back. It messes with my suspension of disbelief, if you guys know what that is. That's my ability to think that this is real, to give this some imagination here that looks like, hey, Spider-Man could be doing X, Y, and Z. That pole messes with me a lot, and I really dislike the diorama portion of it. That being said, I'm sure that these characters down here are way more centric to the design of the video game, which again I do not play. So my friends who play the Marvel Rivals game, you're gonna have to let me know how well that plays in. These are obviously the symbiote versions. This little chomping head down here is cute, but it's just cute. I just don't know what I'm supposed to think about that little chomping head. Overall, we're gonna give this 3 because most of the aspects of what we talked about today give it 3 cheeses. So overall, 3 cheeses. Although, guys, can someone tell the guys on the phone these dioramas suck. The gameplay is put in here just so you guys can see what it is. It does look like it's a cool game. I think you have more action and graphics than you do story. I didn't see any real story development throughout the game.
I play with toys, but I'm a grown-ass man. The kid in me stays alive. Come on, collect the fam. Do what a collector can. Expand the collection just to match that brand. Man, a new batch of toys just hit the stand. Forget about the rent. Go on and spend that grand. Buy them up, crack them open just to show them on the gram. Hasbro.